The Utah Mammoth is sorta proud to present Nashcast.
What the is a Nashcast?
Nashcast, the only hockey show on the planet. Hosted by a human speed bag, fourth line wannabe, healthy scratch, schnozzy moto, Tyson Nash.
Who the hell is Tyson Nash?
Never heard of him.
And the baritone with a brain, the velvet hammer, Mr. Silky, Tono Suave, the radio voice of your Utah Mammoth,
Code Blue!
Mike Folta.
Oh, Captain, my Captain!
Nashcast begins now.
Ready for takeoff.
Here's Tyler Ganoush and Mickey Foghorn. Wait, what? Oh, here's Tyson Nash and Mike Folta.
Well, welcome back, everybody. Folks, my goodness, nice sunny day here up in Kelowna, British Columbia, Canada, up in God's country. I'm not sure where you're at right now. Looks like you're back in the beautiful studio there at the was it the Delta Center? I'm not exactly sure what to call it, but you're looking
Delta
fresh.
Center's a war zone right now. Yeah, we're at the offices here. Delta Center, they're doing 24 shifts over there. They wouldn't let me in with a hard hat. They don't want me screwing anything up over there.
Well, speaking of hard hats, I needed one because I just got off the course here. They got a resawed Predator Ridge after I just finished playing just 9. It was a quick 9. Had to get on the pod, do a recording. So I'm excited, buddy. Excited for this guest. Absolutely. For everyone to listen. We got Kim Becker, and what a beauty she is. We both worked with her last year in the inaugural season for the Utah Hockey Club, now Utah Mammoth. She is my kind of person. That's all I can tell you. We align on so many different things. And how much fun is she to be around?
I kind of think of Kim as the battery of our group. Like
Yeah.
that's where our energy comes from. She's so fun and positive, and while also being down to earth and incredible at her job as well. Super interesting background. Obviously now our studio host, but formerly for several years was a Disney on Ice performer. So she's been out there with Dom Moore doing some skating stuff and some skating content, things like that. Different kind of skates for Kim Becker, but she can wheel around out there as good as anybody.
Yeah, and I always joke with her because I used to party back in the day with the Disney on Ice in Syracuse, New York, when I played there with the Vancouver Canucks farm team. And I'll tell you what, those guys, those girls, they can party. There's guys as well in the group, as we know, but she ran it all. I mean, she had the microphone, she was singing. It's incredible, all the skills and talents that she has on top of having to babysit us, right? Certainly me, Dom, and Nick, more so maybe than you, because you're running the ship there on the radio, on the broadcast, but she has her hands full. On top of it all, she had a baby this year. I mean, talk about that. I mean, just going through all that, still doing your job, ready to burst at the seams, and what a beautiful baby it was.
Yeah, baby Jack, always smiley, and apparently loves hockey because he's always smiling at the rink and all the content you see in Kim's social media. Tyson, what Disney on Ice character would you be? I have a couple thoughts. But I'm trying to imagine you as one of the characters. You would definitely be a bad guy. Like you would be one of the evil characters. I'm curious who you think that would be.
I have a pretty good idea. You know who I would be. I mean, Pinocchio comes to mind. I mean, I think that would be probably number one. Actually, I don't even know. Is that a Disney on Ice character, Gonzo, or is that?
That's Disney.
That's Sesame
yeah,
Street.
Pinocchio's
Or,
Disney.
is it? Yeah. Okay. I'm not sure, but it's someone with a gifted nose. I would say is who I would be. But talk about talented. I mean, I don't know if you've been to one of those shows, but we watched as a hockey team with the Crunch. We watched them perform, and then we watched them later at night perform again with a couple cocktails in them. And my goodness, can those girls party?
Whoa! You're telling me that Cinderella's flying around on the ice after like a couple vodka crayons? Like they were getting after it before the event.
No, they weren't drinking before the event. Well, I can't comment on that because I don't know, but I'm just saying we watched it in Onondaga War Memorial in Syracuse, New York. If you haven't been there, you're not missing a whole lot. You never see the sun for the entire year, it seemed like. But when it comes out, it comes out in a big way. I think I was out in my shorts in 40-degree weather when the sun did come out. But anyway, back to Disney on Ice. It was something special. But those girls are a ton of fun, ton of laughs, and you can see why. Kim Becker running the show as the main host.
Well, we'll get to Kim here in a sec, but a story came out this past week. We don't have a lot of hockey going on here in August, but what we do have are fans going absolutely crazy for the Utah Mammoth. Belle Frazier of the Salt Lake Tribune had an article in which she profiled some of the people who have been getting tattoos. On the left, I believe that's Nick Archer, who's with 27 Tattoo Studios, and he has a year-long wait list for people to come in and get a tattoo, but he is taking Mammoth fans in before hours, after hours. He's getting them to the front of the line, essentially, if they're getting a Utah Mammoth tattoo. And look at the ones that we have already. The one with the mammoth coming out of that guy's arm, that is unbelievable, Tyson. That's Mammoth Almanac on Twitter. I've actually met this guy, Jerry. I met him at Archie's birthday party and at Mammoth Week. Super nice. And I saw that tattoo in the flesh, literally in the flesh, and it is even better in person than what it looks like on screen. I think you could rock one of those, Nasher.
Well, I know you also rock one. Isn't it on your lower back? I mean, that's kind of where I think I saw it last time we worked out. I think it was Mammoth Week. So very impressive, Fultz. I know you're not willing yet to show it, but that is some ink, and I will plead the fifth. I am not going to comment because I have a couple of the worst tattoos on the planet. My Yosemite Sam on the lower part of my ankle. So I am not about to throw stones living in this glass house.
When did you get your tattoos? Like I've never been a tattoo guy, but when did you get yours when you were playing?
I did. I was actually 15. And a year later, I went back to get some touch-ups because it was so horrible in Kamloops, British Columbia, a small little town where I played junior hockey. I thought it'd be cool, right? Everyone's getting cartoon characters with a hockey stick, and it was either Bam Bam or it was Yosemite Sam. So I went with Yosemite with a hockey stick, and he had the big hat, right? The big cowboy hat. Mine looks like a mushroom, right? So it doesn't look like a cowboy hat at all. And my ankles are like about that thin. So didn't really come together like I planned, but a year later I went to get some touch-ups and the place was closed down. So not a great sign. I was just glad I didn't get HIV or anything from the dirty needles. I'm sure he was popping into me trying to ink that tattoo. But anyway, it's a story. I'll say that.
What were the boys giving it to you in the room or no?
Well, not really, because at that time, I don't even know how long ago that was, but no, because everyone, I think our captain had a skeleton. I think one guy had Big Bird, another guy had Goofy on his upper leg. So I think I was kind of safe in that room. I was just trying to fit in, obviously, and yeah, I did my part.
Well, you don't put a bumper sticker on a Bentley, Nasher. I got no ink, and I don't think it would look good on me anyway.
Glow in the dark with that white skin of yours. You get Casper the Ghost, but no one would see it.
Exactly. No, I'm too pale to get tattoos. But enough tattoo talk. Let's get to our great interview with our great friend Kim Becker.
All right, folks, welcome back. Fultz, we got a show for you today. The girl that, I don't know what she charges for babysitting. We got Kelly Chase in the background here.
I thought I'd stop by just because I don't know what he's doing. He's got notes. Played, 15 years in the league. You need a note. You need to know who did what in the league.
I do.
Just talk about the only thing you did your whole life, and you weren't even good at it.
Tough guy in the National Hockey League, and look at these pink glasses he's got. I mean,
It'd be tough to wear these. I can't believe you got notes.
Tough on the eyes. That's about it. But Fultz, my goodness, besides Chaser, we got Kim Becker in the house. This girl, I don't know, again, what does she charge for babysitting? But it's not enough. She babysits you, myself, all of us donkeys, and here she is. Look at that smiling face. She needed the rest because it's been a long year. Kim, welcome to the show.
Well, I got a lot of preparation for my newborn, babysitting all of you guys before I went on my maternity leave. So it actually worked out very well for me. Managing all of your insane personalities and antics definitely put me in a very good place to become a new mom. So I actually thank you, Tyson.
Well, you did have to change my depends at one point when I had Ryan
Couple
Smith
times.
and Gary Bettman on the show. I was a little bit nervous, but again, it was a long year. I mean, a ho-hum year for you. Not many changes. You came from Denver. You moved. You and your husband. You had a baby. I mean, you had us donkeys to get used to. New colleagues. But have you had a chance, Kim, to chill out a bit?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I actually have. I think I'm already starting to feel a little like stir crazy, even being at home. I'm like, okay, let's get back to work here. The off season is wonderful, but I do actually prefer to be around you guys and having fun with the team. And I'm just really excited right now. I'm sure you guys are as well with the new branding and the new name and everything. It almost feels like we're doing a first year all over again. Yeah, right? Like once this team gets back on the ice in the fall. So I'm really excited, but I've definitely had some time to chill out. Doesn't look like I'm enjoying it as much as you are, Tyson. Nice flex behind there with your fire pit and your golf course. Like
This is rented.
Flex where we were hanging out this summer. Otherwise, I would have, taken you to my kitchen where all of the bottles are being washed, so you guys can really see what's going on.
This is my VRBO, Kim. This is actually Ray Whitney's backyard. He's back in Arizona. He doesn't know I'm here. So his kids are looking at me in the window in the background.
Who's that homeless guy in the back holding a weird microphone? Like you don't even have a stand. You're just holding that. Your arm's going to get tired. I know those stands are heavy.
This is all I can afford. I just got the nub right here.
Kim, you've already gotten a little taste of the Nashcast. Like on the intro, we had Kelly Chase, NHL legend, kind of hanging out in the background behind Tyson. You got a group playing on the 13th hole right behind Tyson, calling out Ford. He's right in the splash zone off the 13th fairway, it looks like. What was your first impression when you met this guy?
Oh my gosh. Well, actually I had heard a couple of rumblings about Tyson Nash from some of my old colleagues. Mark Rycroft, he's like, oh, once you get Nasher in there, so I had a little bit of an idea of what he was going to be, but I have honestly loved having him around, doing the shows with him and Nick. It's just, we've had so much fun bouncing back and forth. We're all very different, but we all work very well together when he's joining us on pregame, and I've loved having Tyson in there. He brings some fun to the whole thing, and that's what this is all about, right? We're having fun just bringing these games to everybody that's watching and following along. So I've loved having Tyson. And Mike, I'm still waiting for you to make your actual physical appearance on the pregame show. We've had you in the screen,
we need
right?
him.
We sit back and forth, but Mikey, you know where that studio is.
Name a time and place. Me and Nick will do a little karaoke or something like that.
Oh, God help us.
We got to give the people what they want.
Hey, that is a face for TV if I've ever seen one, though. And the suits. I mean, he's not.
Although, Mikey, did you just roll out of bed? Like, I was expecting you to put yourself together a little bit more when we did this.
What, a mammoth sweatshirt's not enough?
Hair. It looks like you just got a little bedhead. What's going on?
It was my playoff beard. I've actually been growing this out for like 4 months now, and then and the hair too. I'm just letting it go in the summertime.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it looks great. No, you look fly. I like it.
I love it.
Save me. You're not gonna chirp Tyson's mustache. You're gonna chirp my
I've chirped Tyson's mustache for like 4 months. Okay, yeah, the handlebars. We've given that plenty of slack on the live television.
This is called The Stranger, folks. The Stranger. I definitely should not be driving a white van around with this thing on. In fact, it's so long right now. I had to shampoo and condition this bad boy today. It was getting a little itchy.
Okay, Tyson, I am going to throw you under the bus a little bit, though, because I follow you on Instagram, and you've been pulled over twice already in the off season. So I don't know if you're driving that white van and that's what's getting you pulled over or what's going on, but we can't fool everybody on here.
Oh, I know. And believe it or not, I gave him a smile. I was so nice, polite. I gave him a little cleavage action, and and they let me off both times, twice. They let me off, so I'm good.
Well, Kim, you have such a fascinating story on your journey to get to Utah, and everybody has their own journey, especially in this industry. But yours is truly one of a kind. I think a lot of people know the general idea of it by now, but for those of us who maybe aren't familiar with all the details, can you kind of just rehash how in the world you made it to Salt Lake City and to be one of the faces of the Utah Mammoth?
Yeah, I mean, I'm still wrapping my head around how it all happened and how we ended up here. My husband and I sometimes look at each other and it's like, did you ever think you'd live in Salt Lake City, Utah? You know, it's just like so crazy the way that that everything kind of falls, the dominoes fall and things happen. But I grew up in Denver, Colorado. I was a figure skater. So I trained at a couple different rinks around Denver. And then when I graduated high school, I auditioned for Disney on Ice. I got that position. So I was only going to go join Disney on Ice for 1 year and travel around the States. And I actually deferred my college acceptance. I was going to go to Chapman University in Orange, California, which eventually I did end up going to. But I deferred it for a year. Was just going to do 1 year with Disney on Ice. Ended up loving that. So I stayed for 10 full years. And in that 10 years, I was in charge of all of our media relations on the skater side of things for 4 of those years. And I really loved that. I really loved the PR stuff. I loved getting to do their early morning interviews and whatnot that when Disney on Ice comes through to a city, you know, you'll go do a local news interview or they'll come to the rink and you'll do something on the ice on one of those early morning stations. So I loved doing that. I kind of gravitated towards that. And then my last year with Disney on Ice, they made me the host of the show. So I was on a live microphone out on my skates and I was taking the audience through this like ridiculous song from Zootopia to open up the show. And I had to, I should get you guys a video. There is a video on YouTube and I did have to sing. It was called the Hop Along. Okay. Remember this is Disney.
Let's hear it. Let's go. Let's go okay. Right now.
So it'd be like, let's hop. Come on. Let's hop. Don't stop. Hop along. Like I had to do that on a microphone, you guys. I know. And I even had to do it on nights when I was out too late the night before. So it was quite the entertaining aspect of my journey there with Disney on Ice. But I loved that. And so when I quit, I was like, how can I continue to do something that is still, you know, in front of people? It's in the entertainment business, but it really rallies around sports because sports was a part of my life, you know, my whole life, being an athlete, being an ice skater. And so I just kind of like gravitated toward the whole sports broadcasting thing. And I got a digital job with Sports Illustrated. I did end up going to Chapman. I got my degree in broadcast journalism there. And then I graduated during COVID when I was 30 years old in 2020 and got a digital job with Sports Illustrated, did that, got a job then with the University of Arizona, moved to Tucson, and I was the football team reporter there for a little over a year. And then I was always trying to go back home to Denver. So I was plugging myself away back in Denver, got a sports betting job there. I was hosting You Bet Tonight on Altitude. So I moved home to do that. That ended up getting canceled. And I was like, what am I going to do? So I was just freelancing with Altitude. And I was home, but I had nothing going on once that show got canceled. So I just started sending my stuff out to everywhere. And lo and behold, the Broncos had a position. So they hired me to host their red zone updates during the home games on the Jumbotron. So I did that during the Broncos season. Then I got hired by the Rockies to be the in-game host. So I did that. And then I went back to Altitude and hosted Avalanche Live, which was the pregame show for the Colorado Avalanche the season before this last season. So that's kind of my resume. And then I wasn't quite sure what I was going to do after that. You know, I was still talking to the Avalanche. They were trying to figure out if they needed a rinkside reporter and whatnot. So I got referred actually to a job with the Utah Jazz, actually the sideline reporter gig with the Utah Jazz. And so I did my interview with Travis Henderson and Jeremy. And at the end of that interview, they were like, you know, basketball might not like really be your thing, but it looks like you have hockey on your resume and we're hiring for the Utah Hockey Club. Would you be interested in any of those positions? And I was like, yes, because I do not know basketball. At all. So I was like, please, I'd much rather do hockey. So started interviewing for that and somehow got this offer. And it was kind of a crazy time for my husband and I, because I was about 5 months pregnant when I got the offer. And I was like, do I really want to leave home, leave all my family and friends in Denver? But we just knew, down, like my intuition was telling me and my gut was like, I'm going to regret this if I don't take this, even though we're about to have a baby and it's going to be this whole upheaval of our lives to move to Salt Lake City and leave everybody. It just felt like an opportunity I knew I couldn't turn down. And so far it has definitely held up to that. So I'm very happy to be here.
We got to go back to Disney on Ice.
Okay. Fine.
Because that's 10 years of your life. Now, I
partied with those girls. Syracuse, New York. Oh, yeah. Syracuse. I don't think so. I'm much older than you. Doesn't, I mean, come on. Look at
I started when I was 18, Tyson.
Did you? Oh, man.
Yeah.
Syracuse, New York. Yeah. And your old colleague, Mark Rycroft, partied with the Disney on Ice girls back in Worcester, He
Yeah,
told
we
me.
have
So
talked about that. Yeah,
he
and I have
said,
talked
"You
about that.
think hockey players can party?" He goes, "No, we got nothing on the
Yeah.
Disney on Ice girls." So
It's
congrats.
true. It's true. I could drink anybody under the table back in my day. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, Nasher, you might be able to sympathize with me on this, but I actually have a beef with Disney on Ice. When I worked with Atlanta in the ECHL, we had a playoff series coming up, and we were the higher seed in this playoff series. But Disney on Ice was scheduled to play at our arena, and that was going to draw way more people than our playoff game in the ECHL. And so Tyson, it's a 7-game series. We were the higher seed, and we had to play the first 4 games of our series on the road in Jacksonville. We couldn't get a hotel. We couldn't guys couldn't get their pregame naps in. Guys were sleeping on the floor at in the locker room and stuff. And we got swept in the first 4 games on the road, even though we were the higher seed. So
And you're blaming Disney on Ice, huh?
that's my beef with Disney on Ice. I blame you for that, Kim Becker.
That's fine. I'll take it. That's okay. I get it. We've definitely caused some issues. It was funny when Disney on Ice came through Delta Center this last fall. I was talking to some of the ice guys, the guys that drive the Zamboni and make the ice all the time. And they're like, oh, Disney on Ice is here. They ruin the ice every time. And then, the team gets back out there and we got a
Triple sow cow.
Yeah, exactly. Because there's a bunch of divots in the ice and whatnot. And I'm like, sorry.
That happened when I stick handled too, back when I played, Kim. So I know how they feel. I always got ripped. But hey, tell me how the heck. I mean, I can't walk and chew gum at the same time. You got a microphone on. You're doing all the triple luts and sow cows. How do you, first of all, breathe and talk and sing, now that we all know you can sing, at the same time while you're ripping around the ice?
Yeah, that was a skill I kind of had to learn a little bit. It's really funny because they actually brought in a voice coach, like a Disney voice coach, to make my voice higher and more cheesy. So I basically went through this training before we opened that show, and I had to literally sound like those kids that you see on the Disney Channel. And so I was trying to sound all goofy and this and da-da-da-da-da. And so I was learning all of that. And
What
then once I quit, no, literally, that's what they learned me to
You
sound
do
like.
that good, Fultz.
Yeah, you could have been hired. Maybe Disney on Ice might have a spot open if you lose your job, Mikey.
If you need somebody to play Prince Charming or Buzz Lightyear or something, just let me know.
Well, that is true. Yeah, those are very, very manly positions. So I'll definitely put you forth to those ones. But yeah, you get used to it. I think it's funny because we've done a couple things on the ice this last year. Dom and I have got on and we've done some content and whatnot. And I did a spin and I was so dizzy. And I was like, how did I used to do this? So I think just because when you're doing something Tyson, every single day for so long, when you're in that, you're just used to it. It's just second nature, right? You get on the ice and you're like, okay, yeah, I do this every day. But once you take years off and then you try to do it again, it's very hard. So right now, I can't tell you how I did all of that, but somehow we put it together. And we did every show that we did with Disney on Ice in a season was the exact same show. So we did the exact same thing 350 times, So it just kind of becomes autopilot. You don't even think about it. You just get on the ice and it just happens. And then you go about your day, go to the hotel bar.
They wanted me to interview for Battle of the Blades way back in the day. I don't know if you guys remember that show when they'd have NHL players with a partner, right? And I'm like, okay, let me think about it. I went down to the local ice rink in Arizona. I rented a pair of figure skates, and I almost lost the whole rack, my whole top rack of teeth. I toe picked every 10 seconds. I mean, those skates, those are suicide. Are you kidding me?
Well, I've only put hockey skates on once in my life, and I took them off 5 minutes later because to us, there's no toe pick. So if you put your weight forward a little bit, you're flat on your face. Because I'm used to having that rocker and the toe pick there, so I can put my weight forward a little bit more. That's how we take off for a lot of jumps when we're backwards and whatnot, and where we spin is on that rocker, right under the toe pick. And so I cannot put on hockey skates. So I know exactly what you mean, just in reverse.
So I got to ask, your dad played in the NFL. That is so unbelievable. You talked about all the work you've done, freelancing, MLB, NHL, NFL. That is incredible in itself, right? But is that kind of what got you in and your love for all sports, really?
Yeah, it's funny. So my dad played for the Bears in 79, 80, and 81. So he played with Walter Payton, and those were the stories that he loved
the
to tell.
fridge.
Exactly. It was talking about sweetness and everything that he did off of the field too. And he just loves talking about that. My dad was second string, so he didn't play a whole lot, but he did play. And so we definitely have heard a lot of stories from him. And I definitely got my athletic ability from my dad. I have 2 younger brothers. They were big athletes as well. My middle brother played football, lacrosse, hockey. But my youngest brother, he's like definitely the athlete of the family, even though I was a professional, I guess you can say, for 10 years. My youngest brother is quite athletic. He was a really, really good tennis player. So I think it's definitely in our genes. But I mean, growing up, all I remember on the weekends on Sundays was like Sunday's football day. Like we are watching football all day with my dad on Sunday. So I definitely think that we all just kind of got the love of being an athlete from him. And but truly, I mean, the discipline, I think, is what we got from him and from my parents the most, and that's how we became athletes. I think they go hand in hand, right? Just being disciplined and falling in love with a sport that you want to dedicate all of your time to. So, yeah, I mean, hearing the stories about my dad from my uncles all played football too, and so it was just a big football family. And my dad played at the University of Iowa, so college football is huge in our family too. My dad always roots for the Hawkeyes still, so he's had a rough couple of years actually with the offense on Iowa. I know, Mikey, you know what I'm talking about, but but yeah, it definitely
Ouch.
the athletics.
That was
I know.
a dig.
He's a Purdue fan, so yeah,
Well,
I know. But
Kim's saying like, oh yeah, Iowa's had a tough couple of years. Tyson, they're going like 8-4, 9-3.
Offense.
My team
I should say
won one game
offensively.
last year.
You got
had a
Matt
tough-
McConnell. Now you got Kim all over you.
always.
Just a punching bag.
I'm always trying to get in those conversations with Maddie and Mikey when they're talking about college football. I'm like, how can I insert myself here? Because they're having a good time on our text thread. They're going after each other. I cannot believe how much crap Mikey gets on our text threads. Let me just tell you right now. Even
love
Dom, he'll come in there and like he'll just like get a zinger in there on you, and I'm like, poor
If
Mikey,
Dom-
but it's fun.
If Dom doesn't often jump in, but when he does, he doesn't miss.
They're good. I know. They're like sly, like subtle little jabs, and I'm like, whoa, I didn't know Dom had it in him. I love it.
Kim, what's it been like? I mean, what was the first year like for you? Like meeting Tyson, having to survive that ordeal, but then just like, meeting everybody and being a part of a new group that was really thrown together very quickly. And you came on the road early in the season too. That was a ton of fun. Like, I just, from your perspective, I want to know like what the experience was like for you coming from Colorado.
Yeah, well, I think it just goes back to that gut feeling that I had and my intuition. I knew that this was going to be an opportunity that, number one, would be so fun and a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, being a part of a team that is starting from the ground up. Like there's just not that many people that can say they were a part of something like that. So I knew it was going to be really special. And I had read so much about SEG, about Ryan and Ashley Smith, and it was all positive. I had talked to people who knew them, and it was all positive. And I just knew also that being a part of an organization that has such incredible people at the top is huge. It's career changing, right? It can change how your job is every single day, how things get done, how things get communicated. So I just knew it was going to be really good. And honestly, it all lived up to that. Like you said, Mikey, when we were all on the road, just having time to bond together on that road trip. I was pregnant and we started 3 nights in Vegas, which wasn't my favorite, but I still was able to hang out with you guys and, and spend some quality time. So I thought that was really cool. And then we were able to go to the NHL meetings in New York City right off the bat before preseason even started. So that was some really good quality time. But I think we all just knew from the get-go that we just had a lot of really good people in this group. And that was something that SEG and that Travis and everybody that put this broadcast team together, Craig, that was something that they wanted, was just really good people. And it makes jobs so much easier. And Nick and I have talked about this after we've left Delta Center, filming, post-game in the studio while everybody else is on the road. And we'll walk to our car and we'll be like, man, it's just like fun. Like it doesn't even feel like we just did a night of work. It feels like we're watching the game together and we're able to talk to you guys, via the interwebs, and it's just fun. It doesn't even feel like we're leaving a night at work. We're not exhausted. We're not like, oh, even though it's 11:30 p.m. and we have to drive home, we're not tired in a drained way. It's just a really, really fun thing that we get to do all the time. And I'm so excited for what the future holds. But I love new things. I love new chapters. I think that there's something really special in the unknown and the uncertainty, but beautiful things can grow from that. And I think that we've got something really special. And so I just can't wait to keep going. And meeting Tyson was definitely the cherry on the top, I will say.
Oh, God. Hey, careful. Your nose is going to end up like mine if you keep lying. But
it's true.
But I appreciate.
No, I remember meeting your wife, though, when you guys were in St. Louis, your wife, and the first thing she said to me was, she was like, you do so well managing all of these men on this show. And that was like such a compliment to me. I was like, thank you so much. But no, we have a ton of fun. It really is fun. It doesn't feel difficult.
Yeah, well, you mentioned first, and there was a lot of them this year. I know Ryan and Ashley talk a lot about first, right? All the great moments that we had together as a group, doing those pre and post game shows, intermissions, all that stuff. But we got a few clips here we want to show you, Kim.
My goodness, I wore my extra tight jeans here tonight. The blue, I mean, it doesn't get any better than the swag, right? But we have the guy, the reason that we're all standing here today, right? I mean, Ryan Smith.
It's a good thing you're wearing dark colored pants, Tyson.
I know. I need a pair of Depends. I'm a little bit nervous. My job
awkward.
could depend on it.
We're not going to get into that one. We're actually going to go to break with that. Thank God.
That was so fun.
Thank God.
That's what I mean, Anna. Thank God we're not doing that one. There was also the Speedo one. I remember when you had just come back from a vacation, and Nick was like, "Oh, I saw that you got a really good tan line, in your Speedo." And I was like, "Why did you see Tyson in a Speedo? Like, you two just, I know. I think that you guys, it was fun. We had a good time, but
We're blaming
the
Tyson,
water's
but
always-
Nick initiates a lot of that stuff too. I mean,
He does.
Tyson's not the only one, right?
Nick has definitely, he's also got a quiet little subtle jab skill going on here. He's pretty good.
Yeah, the water was awfully cold in Cabo.
Forrest,
I know, again.
You get that in the store?
I am dripping. Look at this. Look at this.
This actually is a really sweet hoodie.
And the blue inside
I would
the
wear
hood,
that.
too.
I love it.
I don't mess around.
No,
I
you
do
don't
not
mess around. Look at this.
around.
Look at the detail right
Oh, yeah.
here. I mean, it looks really
swagged
nice.
up.
How about the shoes?
Swagged up.
Let's
I
see the
got
shoes.
that
Oh, how about them shoes?
Get it
Up
up.
on the table.
Move it
Up on
this
the
way.
table. Come on.
Hammy right there.
I just pulled a hammy.
Not before the Nashcast. God forbid. All right,
Where's
Tyson,
Dave Zanobi when you need him?
Yeah, ice bags, please. Ice bag
He's going
broadcasting.
down to the trainers here. Needs a little massage before the Nashcast starts.
See? I know. It's wild. We've had some
You
wild
deserve a
times.
medal. You deserve a medal.
It's
We've
so
said that.
fun. It really is. We have a
I
good
would have
time.
thought it would have been Kim doing the leg kicks with her background instead of Tyson. But
Thank God I didn't have to. I was wearing a dress, Mikey.
Tyson, at what point were you like, yeah, this will be a good idea to try
Never.
and pick this up here?
That didn't cross his mind.
I felt peer pressure though. I threw the leg up once and Nick was like, is that all you got? Get that thing up there. And then I tried the second time and it didn't go. I was like, go gadget leg. And I literally
Wrap
pulled
your
a
core,
hammy.
lift from
Oh,
below.
yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, I'm flexible like a board. Let's say that.
Welcome inside Delta Center. We got Tyson Nash in the house. We got Nick Olczyk in the house. Kim
Tyson.
Becker in the house. What are you wearing?
Wait,
You just put those on. We
is
missed
the nose
that.
attached to the glasses?
It's not a fake nose, everyone at home, but we need it's Hanson time, right? It's the Hanson brother glasses. I found them in my bag. I mean, you got to bring it. This is playoff time right now. They need some Hanson, right?
Look at
Hanson
this
love.
whole
I know.
aura
I know.
compared to ours today. Yeah, fitting right in. Obviously, a Nashcast. We'll get into that a little bit later. You've got another exciting guest on tonight.
I mean, it's so funny because Nick and I are like standing there ready to go, like all dressed up, ready to go. And here comes Tyson, like, busting in there late in his hoodie. He's got the but it's good. It lightens the mood. It makes it a lot of fun.
Kim threw $1 in my pocket. She's like, here, go get a new pair of pants.
Seriously. You didn't need more than
Homeless
that.
guy.
No, that stuff is fantastic, and I am jealous, Kim. Anytime you need a crasher, as we say on Nashcast, to the pregame show, I'm over in section 7, so you don't have to go
You're
far.
always welcome. I know we could like throw a paper airplane and hit you in the back of the head. You're always welcome to just bust it down there. Do a little.
What was
40 dash and-
what was your favorite moment, you think, on air?
I mean, the hot dog one with Nick is up there. I was laughing so hard when Jazz Bear came over, Hockey Bear came over, and was pouring water in his mouth as he was trying to eat those hot dogs, and he literally choked and spit like hot dog water all over our desk. So then my eyes were watering. I couldn't take him seriously. So that was one of my favorites because I was just laughing so hard. But I mean, personally, my favorite was when I got that jersey made Dave brought and surprised me with the Utah jersey with my name on the back, because I was like completely caught off guard with that one. And that was so sweet. I actually went into the team store the other day to get this hat and a couple of other things. And he was working there and he like showed me the video again. It was so cute. He was like, "You made my day seeing you today." So that was really sweet. So yeah, just being able to like meet everybody around the arena has been awesome too this last year. And have been little moments while we're filming the show or while we're on commercial break or whatever that's made that all really special.
Do we have? I'm not sure if we have that video. I think we have that video.
We got
maybe
a jersey up here. We can show
There
you
we
guys
go.
here in a sec. You guys, I'm start crying. Wait, you can't make you. I'm emotional. I'm a new mother. I have a lot of emotions. Dave, you threw me off. I'm blushing. Oh, give me a hug. Are you serious, you guys? Oh my gosh, Dave, this is so special. I'm like sitting here in awe looking at all the fans in their jerseys. I'm thinking about you doing this. You did this with your own hands. I feel so, oh my gosh, I'm emotional. I feel so special. This is so cool, you guys. And look at that. The year of the inaugural season, 24. You guys, you want me to put it on? Yeah? Okay. Hold it.
Isn't this awesome, folks? Come on.
I'm so excited. I don't even have a jersey yet.
Now you do.
Now I'm official.
That's such a good clip.
Yeah, that was awesome. Oh my gosh. I mean, it really caught me off guard so much because we were watching the program, right? The screen in front of us shows what everybody is being shown while we're filming pregame show. And I had Adam in my ear, or I guess this might have been an intermission. I had Adam, our producer, in my ear being like, "Oh, look at program, look at program." So I was trying to get Dave to look at program. I was like, "Oh, like I'll have him try to look at it and we can talk about what's going on." So I didn't even see whoever it was, I think it must have been our stage manager, bring the jersey up onto the table. Like I didn't even notice because I was trying to look at the video. And then I also missed the fact that my name was on the jersey on the video. So I was just like, I was not looking where I was supposed to be looking at the right time to figure out what was going on. So yeah, that was total shock factor. And then Craig was down there filming it. So I had to give him a little like just a notion that I was like, that was really cool. So that was really special.
Well, Kim, I don't know if you've been watching the Nashcast at all. I hope you have, but one of our favorite parts of the show is bringing on a Nash Crasher, and we got a couple special ones here for you.
Hi, Kim. Hope you're having a great off season. You, Mike, and little Jack. Just wanted to send out my my greetings and my congratulations on such a great job over our first season in Salt Lake City with the Utah Hockey Club, now the Mammoth. I don't know what letter you're wearing, but you're either wearing the C or the A of our entire group. I'm always amazed at how good you are under pressure and how smooth you are on camera and how you can traffic everything coming at you a mile a minute. I think what the Stanley Cup taught us was that every successful organization has great culture, and you have really helped create a wonderful culture with all of us for the Mammoth. By the way, I hope Tyson Nash actually lets you talk today. I worked with him for 13 years. I could barely get a word in edgewise on most nights. He's the only guy I know that could talk a starving dog off a meat wagon. So good luck with that. You won't have any problems with Folta today, but Tyson, keep an eye on him and have a great time. And we'll see you not in the all that far distant future. It's going to be right around the corner the next season. Really can't wait. Thanks.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Hey, you earned that. You earned that. They were
goat.
I know.
He's so sweet. That's
And he's
awesome.
stealing my lines, by the way. I mean, like what he owes me something for those folds. What's going on with Daddy?
Yeah, 13 years. He's got to steal something from you. Come on.
Oh God, my back's still sore for carrying his big butt around.
For those listening on podcast, that was our TV play-by-play guy, Matt McConnell. Kim, he mentioned your versatility, and you're one of the leaders of our group, and I'm sure a lot of that has to come from just your journey and like having such a unique path. We talked about Disney on Ice, which I want to go back to, but you went to school after Disney on Ice, right? So you said you graduated when you were what, 30, or like was it a little humbling, or like was it hard to go back to school and like be taking internships and kind of starting over?
She got a senior's discount, I heard.
Yeah, that's the only reason I went, right? I know. I waited as long as I could. They were like, you are the oldest person we've ever accepted into our school. No, it was, honest to God, the hardest thing I have ever done in my entire life. It was humbling. It was eye-opening. It was such an interesting experience, having been 28 years old, going into a classroom with a bunch of 18-year-olds. And mind you, I was going to a school in Orange County. So that was also very different. A private school in Orange County, Chapman University, which was an awesome school. They had a great broadcast journalism department, but just being in the room with some of these kids who had never left Orange County in their entire life. And I had actually just come back from the Middle East, because my last stint with Disney on Ice was in Bahrain. I went to 45 different countries with Disney on Ice. So my last one was, I did Dubai and Bahrain right when I quit there. So having been there and then coming back to Orange County and sitting in a women's studies classroom was very eye-opening. But it really was the hardest thing I've ever done. Number one, because Tyson can relate to this, and any athlete can relate to this. When you are done participating in the sport that you have, you too, Mikey, sorry, whatever sport you played.
Intramural champion.
That's the one. Yeah. Okay. Then you will totally relate to this. When you're done with your intramural league and you finally have to go into the real world and do something, just that transition alone is so difficult, because your identity was wrapped up in this sport that you played and whatever you did for, so long. So mine was ice skating and mine was performing in Disney on Ice. And so I was transitioning into going back to school at 28 years when I had just been gallivanting around the entire world, doing what I love to do. So that transition alone is super, super hard for any athlete when they have to hang up their skates or whatever it is. And then also going to college for the first time at 28 years old was just a transition in itself. So it was very difficult, but I knew I had to do it if I wanted to get, a job that was going to be well worth my time and worth having a career in, and just worth kind of, just making sure that I knew what I was doing. I was honing my skill and that I was good at what I wanted to do. So I am very grateful that I went, because I did end up getting my first job with Sports Illustrated digitally from people that started with my professor, through people that he knew and this and that. So that is how I got my first job, was the connections that I made at school. But oh my God, it was so difficult to just literally go back to school. Like, I had to go buy notebooks and pencils at 28 years old. And then luckily I only had to go for 2 years, because I did do online classes while I was traveling with Disney on Ice. And then some of my AP credits from high school actually still worked somehow 10 years later. So I was done with all my general educations, but I had to get the specific classes with the broadcast degree. But I'm glad I went. I will never do it again. Obviously, I will never go back to school, but I am glad that I did that. Yeah.
My kids always say, I need to go back to school at 50. They're like, Dad, your grammar, your spelling is absolutely embarrassing, horrendous. The text message changes you see in our family, it's not pretty, but hang on a sec. This is the first on our show. Folks, I know we haven't seen this before. We have a second Nash Crasher. Here he is.
Salutations from Chicago, and more specifically, my childhood bedroom. I don't know if that's weird, but we're going to go with it anyway. And I'm thrilled to be here, Nash crashing you, Kim Becker. And Kim, I tell you this all the time. I'm your sidekick. Here's another example why. You are an official guest on Nashcast before me. I won't hold it over you, but another reason why I'm your sidekick. But I'm here to tell everybody about what a great person you are. And it's easy to do because it's the truth, whether on camera or not on camera. Your humor, your work ethic, your attitude, your energy, whether you're 8.5 months pregnant or not. It was such an honor to be your teammate this year. And if it wasn't for you for most of these shows, the rig wouldn't be on the road, because I would have no clue what to do or where to go from segment to segment. So it is an honor to work with you. I can't wait for the upcoming season. I just hope you've been able to enjoy some time away from me for a little bit. And lastly, story time. I'm sure some people who didn't have a chance to see would like some details into how you made me, and yes, you made me spit up hot dog water on live television. Ugh.
Oh, he also had bedhead, still in his little child at home. I'm shocked. He probably just had to make that because he sleeps until like 11 a.m.
And then he's got to make his bed.
Yeah. That was so sweet. See, that's what I mean. Like the chemistry between all of us is so genuine, and it really is so real. It's awesome to have, and none of it's fake. So I hope that people realize that, because we do have so much fun.
How about this year? Let's ask you a hockey question. I mean, we watched those games again. There's so many great games at the Delta Center. I mean, we were lucky at times that roof was bolted on because the crowds, right? The comebacks, the game tying goals. But was there a couple moments for you, Kim, this year that you were like, wow, this is a special group?
Oh my gosh. It was the overtime game. Tyson, I think you and I actually were in the studio. I think they were playing Vancouver and they went into overtime and we were doing our post game from the studio, but the walls were literally vibrating. Do you remember that when everybody was leaving the arena because Utah had just won in overtime? So that moment for sure really stands out. But also,
we're like zoo animals, right? We're like zoo animals. We're in
they're
glass.
Tapping at the glass.
Yeah, they're like, who's in there? What's going on? What are they eating?
I know. That's way more fun than when Utah lost and we would have like Boston fans like coming on like hitting that I didn't like, but that also happened. But I think one of my favorite moments was when we were filming post game, pre-game in the bowl, and so I stayed in the bowl to watch the game in the arena, and the veggie chants first started. It was like the first game that all the veggie chants went up, and that was so cool to see. And they would show the close up on Veggie when he was in net, and you can tell he's kind of looking up and smiling a little bit. It must have been the game where he had the most saves, right? When he hit his career save there, and he then was, first star, went on the ice and throwing his hands up. And so moments like that, when it's, you see the community of Utah really start to know who these players are also and understand that it's all of these individuals that make up the team of the Utah Mammoth. I think those moments were really special, and that was definitely one of them when those veggie chants started. And the first game is always going to be a special moment too. The first time that they took the ice against the Chicago Blackhawks and we were all there, and I'm kind of grateful that we weren't doing our normal broadcast that day because ESPN had that game, because I feel like I really got to soak up what this season was going to be. And that was, I was in there and I was able to focus more on what was going on the ice. I did some in-game hosting, but I remember having times where I was standing there watching the game and watching the crowd and being like, whoa, this is going to be something really, really, really special. And there were a lot of moments that I was able to be present during that game. So that was a really cool time too.
I've got a two-parter for you, Kim. First, do you ever like accidentally slip into your Mickey Mouse voice or something like that when you're doing a sports hosting job? And second of all, like seriously, what is the biggest difference between like when you're skating and performing and trying to make kids laugh and get people to sing along compared to standing in front of a camera with a team logo on the mic flag?
I mean, that's a very good question. Okay, so I'll start with the first one. No, I don't think I've let any of the Mickey Mouse voices slip, luckily. It's actually quite funny, though, because when I started getting into sports broadcasting, I had several people be like, your voice is way too high and you talk really fast, which I still talk really fast, but that's just how I talk. So it's hard for me to change that one. But I did have to tell them that I just went through this whole training with Disney to try to get my voice higher. And now I need to get my voice lower, to become a host or a reporter or what have you. So that was actually something that I tried to work on very hard, was to not let that high voice slip in there. But I'm sure it's come out a little bit. You saw with the jersey reveal from Dave. I mean, that was a pretty high voice and that was my normal voice. So when I'm surprised or when something catches me off guard, it does slip in there, unfortunately. So I guess the answer to your first question is yes, it has happened. And then to your second question, the main difference for me is performing for a live audience when there's thousands of people way up in the rafters or just right there in the front row. You just really have to, project yourself like very largely. So when I was skating, that was what we worked on a lot, was how can we like open our chest, open our arms, like keep our chin up and just really project to a live audience. And I think, when I'm talking to a camera, I don't think I'm talking to a camera. I mean, I never am really, right? I'm talking either to the fans watching or I'm talking to one of you guys. And so that to me is more just conversational. And I try to just make that also very genuine and very raw, because a lot of the things that I learned both in college and just through different experiences and interviews and whatnot is that you want to just be having a conversation with the viewer. It truly is just kind of a back and forth thing. Like you're just providing information. It's not a performance, right? So that's the main difference, is I'm not performing at all when I am doing my job here. When I'm hosting, it's truly just talking or, just a very normal conversation, just be yourself kind of thing. Whereas when I was with Disney on Ice, I really was performing as a character. So that's kind of the main thing, is this is definitely not performing. It's not acting. It's being very real. And I hope everybody knows that what they see on camera is what you would get from me in person too.
And I have 2 girls, right? And I try to instill in them, there is nothing you can't do in this world. Was there someone in your life that kind of mentored you or helped you or made you believe exactly that?
Yeah, I mean, that's a great question. I think that my parents were definitely like that. You know, my mom drove me around to skating, and then she would drop me off, go pick up my brothers, take them to whatever sports they were playing, drop them off, come pick me up. So I don't remember my parents ever saying like, no, you can't go do that. They were always very supportive and very excited about what I was going to do. Even when the Disney on Ice thing came about, you know, it meant I wasn't going to college, and they were stoked about that. They were like, yeah, go do something that is different, right? Like have a path that isn't like everybody else's, that is unique, and see where it takes you. So they were definitely the people for me then when I was in high school and whatnot. And then I had one friend, her name was Melanie. She was our line captain with Disney on Ice, and she was so basically like the captain of the team, right? She was the girls captain, and she was someone who I looked up to a lot. She taught me a lot of different things just about traveling and about being who I was, and how to be confident and how that would help you and being secure and all of that. So she was someone that was very special in my Disney on Ice career. And then Ashley Adamson, I don't know if either of you know her. She worked for the Pac-12 network. Now she's with Big Ten network, but I met her in one of my college classes. She spoke to one of my college classes, and then I reached out to her afterwards. We stayed in touch a little bit. And then when I was working at the University of Arizona, since she was working with Pac-12, I would see her often. And she was someone that I really leaned in on and that I've confided in a lot. And she was a host with Pac-12 Network. She had kids. She had a family, lived in San Francisco. She now, like I said, works in Chicago, but obviously still has a family. She's a mom. She's wonderful at what she does. She's an awesome person. What you see on TV with her is exactly who she is off camera. So she's been someone that I've really looked up to. And she's actually the person that I called when I got the Utah offer. And I was like, I don't know, what do you think I should do? Because I'm pregnant, and like, you've had kids and you're a host. And so how does this work? Like, are they going to hate me because I'm pregnant? Like, are they going to like it? Like, you know, and she was like, are you kidding me? Like, this is the dream, right? Is to be able to have a family and also do what you love. And this is an opportunity that you definitely don't want to turn down. And so she's kind of that person that I've been able to lean on more in my recent career.
Now, you were doing shows like basically up until we met Lil Jack. I mean,
yeah.
Like what was that like? I mean, you were like what? Serena Williams? Was she the one playing in the tournaments while she was pregnant? That's what you were doing. It was unbelievable.
So like
long way from the heart. She's like a hockey player.
I know,
long way from the heart.
Mike, bring Jack in here if he's awake. We'll see if he hears me.
She's like Matthew Tkachuk playing through injury.
For baby Becker right
get
here.
Him in here. It was not fun. I'm going to tell you that much. If you ever see a woman doing this job pregnant while on TV, just know that she's not having fun. If she's acting like she is, she's a good actor. And I guess I also am a good actor because I acted like I was having fun doing the job, but putting on real clothes and putting on heels and staying up late and doing all of that while I was pregnant, it was so hard. I was just so tired, but it's totally worth it. Look at that little munchkin. He looks nothing like that also anymore. It's so funny looking at that picture because I'm like, that's not my baby. But I loved this graphic that Adam made too. Position, fetal. That's my favorite. But it was really cool. There were a lot of moments where, again, I also tried to stay present and was like, this is something that I'll always remember, you know, is being pregnant with one. Oh, is he asleep? Are you asleep? Come here. We'll get him in here. It was very special to be able to carry him with me in the inaugural season and then be able, oh, he was asleep. Come here, baby.
We got the first ever double crash, I think, right here.
Yeah, we got a double crash. There's Mike, and here's little Jack.
We got Mike and Jack.
Hey, Jack.
Oh,
what's up, buddy?
Hi, buddy. Here.
Oh,
Yeah.
look at those toes. Look at those toes.
That's a stay-at-home defenseman right there.
Oh, yeah. Solid on the blue line.
Go. What do you think, buddy? But no, it was really special. And I mean, I was so grateful for SEG and for everybody with the team. They were so cool about me, you know, having him mid-season and coming in first year, meeting everybody while I was pregnant. That was a trip. And then being able to still do what I loved and still have a great year. So it all worked out pretty well. What do you think?
Well, and it has to be somewhat inspirational also to other women in the industry or just girls who want to grow up and you know work in sports like you do, but also have a family. Have you had a chance to mentor any like younger reporters or anything like that?
I haven't necessarily mentored well, that's not true. I guess there have been a couple of people that I've really had several conversations with who I've never met in person, who have reached out on Instagram or, we met through mutual connections or whatnot. And something that the younger ones do always ask me is how do you maintain like a level of professionality while also having fun on TV, which is, I think, what people see in my videos. And that to me, I just say, be yourself, because people will try to change you. They'll try to, tell you to talk differently or tell you to do something differently, this and that. And the most important thing about our job is just being yourself, I think, and being able to have fun with it. He's looking at his dad.
He drools like I do.
Yeah, I know. You guys are the same. Are you
Look
the
at
same
that
as
face.
Tyson? Yeah.
His hair's growing in. Look at that. Look at the
that
salad
hairline.
on him.
We're hoping it grows a little more, though. He's got like some
Little mullet, little baby mullet.
Little baby mullet. But
Hairy mammoth.
I think it. I think it is. It probably is inspiring. I hope so, without me trying to make it too, intentionally inspiring. But just for people to see that they can have both, especially for females. Like, it's no secret that it's hard for a woman to be both a mom and have a career. And I'm living it now, and it is very difficult, but it's worth it. And if you're able to do it, and you get a little nugget as cute as this, it's worth it.
Hold on a sec here. I'm getting a buzz that we've got another Nash Crasher on the way here.
My favorite Disney on ice skater ever, Kim Becker. Do you miss Santorinis as much as I do? Our favorite pregame meal spot on Delta Center's concourse. It's been over 2.5 months since we were there, and I got my favorite, a braised beef bowl substitute falafel. Oh my gosh, I miss Santorini's, Kim. I hope you've had plenty of time. I hope things are going well on all of the fundamentals that Dom taught you that you're working on every day with all the loaner hockey gear he gave you to practice up this summer. Hey to Mike and Tyson as well. And toss up, everybody.
Mikey, Tyson, I'm really hoping not to ruin your day with this news, but it just dawned on me that Kim Becker, she's a superior being to the rest of us. Tyson, you have a lot of great qualities. You're tough as nails. So is Kim. Mikey, you're so smart. So is Kim. Tyson, I love how you just tell it like it is, but you know what? Kim does that too. And Mikey, you're so easy to get along with, such an easygoing, chill dude. Kim's pretty much that way as well. So basically, Kim is a combination of all of your best qualities. So all wrapped up in one person. Oh, and you know what? She's a hell of a skater as well. Anyway, tusks up, fellas.
Oh, that is so sweet.
That is awesome. Oh my God.
You are loved. All your days. Wow, that is very nice.
That was Dom Moore, our TV analyst. He's been so much fun to work with, and he's another one of the. He's part of our broadcast crew, but there's also a lot of new babies with the team. And obviously Dom has 2 young girls and a baby of his own. How much fun has that been to be around so many people who have newborns or young children, Kim?
Oh my gosh. Well, it's so fun, especially because this is my first one. So I don't know what I'm doing. And so having Dom do the studio stuff with me sometimes was really fun, because I would be able to just be like, how are you guys doing at home? How's Mary? Or when we were both pregnant, you'd be like, how's she feeling? Because it would make me feel a little bit better to know, there was someone else going through this at the same time, and it's not super easy. And Dom is a wonderful father, and hearing his stories and having advice come from him on just how to handle this and how to handle the little ones and also work and stay patient and all of that was really special. So yeah, it's very cool. We brought Jack over to Dom's house a few weeks ago, and he met Logan for the first time when we were playing some pickleball and stuff. And so it's really fun. And, it makes it exciting for my husband and I to know that we are around this community that hopefully Jack can grow up in and have some buddies like little Logan and maybe start playing hockey also himself in a couple of years and meet some other little ones who are starting to love the sport. So it is really special. And I try not to think too far down the line. Like, I try to take everything one day at a time, because just thinking about the fact that I have to take care of that little thing for the next 18 years is very overwhelming. So one day at a time for me, but it's really special to know that there's other people around us going through the same stuff.
Well, they say it takes a village, right? It takes a village to get the Nashcast up and running. We've got a great crew back in the studio. We've had a million crashers, and it takes a village plus one. We've got one more. Kim, you're not the only female on our broadcast team. We have Sarah Marfield as well, who has a special message for you.
Well, surprise! It's easy to talk about how amazing Kim is because she's not only Superwoman with the cutest little kid, but she's also my better female half on this broadcast group. I don't know what I'd do without you. And who would have thought that, you know, however many years ago it was that we would meet for the first time in a baseball broadcast booth in Arizona. So grateful you came into my life, Kim. And obviously you are such an amazing part of our broadcast team. So you keep kicking butt.
Oh, that is so sweet. And look at her flexing with her Emmys behind her. I don't have any of those. I'm a 0-time Emmy winner. I think about putting that on my Instagram bio all the time because people always put that 0-time Emmy winner. But no, that is so sweet. Yeah, Sarah and I randomly, I'll tell you a quick story. When I was working at the University of Arizona, I was down in Tucson, and I know someone that works for the Brewers, and he invited me to come up. He's the play-by-play Jeff Levering for the Milwaukee Brewers, and he invited me to come up and just sit in the booth and watch the game. They were playing the Diamondbacks with him, and I was like, okay, cool. So I drove up there, and we were just in the hallway, whatever, and he was like, oh, let me introduce you to the Diamondbacks sideline reporter, and it was Sarah. And so we met, like, when was that? It must have been 3 years or so ago. So we met, we chatted a little bit, started following each other on Instagram. And then when we both found out we were coming to Utah, we like messaged each other right away. We were like, oh my God, we're going to work together. So it's been so nice to have her here. She's amazing. And like she said, we've hung out several times in the off season too. We're getting together in a couple days here. We have a good time. She loves little baby Jack. And I'm so grateful that she's here as well. So that was really sweet.
All right. Well, the Nashcast. Forget the Nashcast. Apparently, the producer is in my ear telling me it's going to be the Becker cast is coming next. I am going to be pulled off the air. Fultz, I think we're done. So I think Kim is taking over, and rightfully so. Again, Kim, we cannot thank you enough. You have been unbelievable as always. Thank you for all you do, babysitting us as your colleagues. Carrying the mail. I know your back's getting sore, but we thank you. We know what you went through, but you are the absolute best.
You guys are awesome. This was so much fun. I really appreciate it. Can't wait to get back at it this fall.
Thanks, Kim.